Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of Agritech Founders Diary. It's been a while. We have Agritech Founders Diary. Right. So today I'm super excited to be coming live again to talk about myself this time. Before on Agritech Founders Diary, I usually used to bring a guest and then I usually used to share the experience. They get to share their experience, get to share their lessons, challenges, and situations they've had, how they overcome those situations on this show. But today, I decided to do a twist to it, and moving on, I'm going to be doing a twist. So, of course, subsequent time, I'll also be bringing a guest, and subsequent time, I will just come and share my own personal story because I personally am also building a tech company, right, in the agri-tech space. So today I want to do something very different from what we usually used to do, bringing guests, interview them, asking them questions, and documenting their story. I wanted to also share my own story with you guys, how I built my own architects company. We are pretty young, but so I wanted to part of our own story is document our own story on my own show and then carry you guys through the whole journey of what I'm doing, what stage we are, how did we move from one stage to the next stage, and how we are doing what we are doing at our own end. So that's what I want to be doing subsequent time. Why at some other point I also bring a guest. So it's good to be here. Guys, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you're watching from YouTube channel, do wait to subscribe. Hit the subscription buttons. It's promised to be amazing. As usual, it's always amazing. Dishing out values that will help you grow your business, right? So if you are not subscribing, if you are watching from the YouTube channel, do wait to subscribe. Hit the subscription buttons, hit the likes buttons, drop your comments, drop your questions on the comment sections, and then click the share button, share this video. So wherever you are watching from, because we are watching right now, we're streaming on three platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So wherever you are watching from, do wait to hit the subscription buttons. Hit the subscription buttons, right? So do wait to hit the subscription buttons and share this video to anybody you know is building agri-tech company. Today wants to share values, knowledge on how they can also come into the agri-tech space. So for me, a few months back, I launched my agri-tech company called Agritech Digest, and it's been amazing. I've tried to keep up to the a lot of people have been visiting the site. And if you have not visited visited our site, Agritech Digest, do want to visit it. There's a lot of information. So what do we do at Agritech Digest, which I'm going to be sharing with you how I built the company. So what do we do at Agritech Digest? At Agritech Digest, we Agritech Digest is a media company that shares information, latest trendings, latest information on the agri-tech space. The whole idea of coming up with Agritech Digest is that if you look at the entire tech space, a lot of capitalists, a lot of venture capitalists, a lot of angel investors, they tend to invest in fintech more. They move on to tech space. So a lot of people invest in tech, fintech, more than they invest in agri-tech space. I've dished out on my LinkedIn space. I've dished out a lot of latest architect founders on what they should do as regarding that. So yeah, I wanted to move on from just writing on LinkedIn to open a media company that really clearly show data to 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 these angel angel investors and venture capitalists that see there's this sector, this architect space is open. There's massive opportunity in this space. They should also come in and invest. So I decided to open it. I decided to go through the route of a media company to change their narrative, to also make them understand that see there's a lot of opportunities and potentials in this architect space. But you know what? Realistically, I've had that idea in my head. I wanted to run a media company to change the narrative of what is happening on the agri-tech space. You know, I wanted to do that, but I was so scared. Honestly speaking, I tell you, running a company is not easy. I've run farming, I've run a lot of farms, I've been fully involved in farm. And beyond that, also, I wanted to also give visibility to agri-tech founders, give visibilities to farmers, give visibility to their cultural space. Yeah. So I've had that idea in my head, but I've always been scared of starting. So number one lesson for everyone watching, you are still thinking of starting your agri-tech space. Let me tell you, the first thing you should do is start it. Just start it. Why you keep eating on, you figure out to go about it. At some point we keep figuring in our head, how do I go about it? How do I start it? There's that fear inside. Will people buy into it? Will people like it? Will people patronize us? There's a lot of, are we going to make it in our head, right? So I had that fear. So this idea of architect digest linger in my head not too long. So I was so scared. How do I start? So number one, I've said start. So but while I was scared, I didn't really start like I mentioned start anyway. So what I first did was my first move was start Architect Founders Diary. So that's the show Architect Founders Diary came on board. So maybe subsequent time we're going to talk about Architect Founders Diary and so this our own Chinese we've had running the show, right? So my own first concept was, how do I start? I wanted to also learn from a lot of architect founders. Yeah. So what I did was start a show. So via my show, I get to bring in a lot of founders, a lot of people who have been doing what I want to do, and I get to interview them. So that was my own first biggest secret. I pull up people who has already been doing what I wanted to do. I get a show, up a show, and I started interviewing them. I think I've interviewed up to like 20 people before I launched my own company. So I've been able to list. And what I did was, I knew I was going to build a global business. So what I did was, I did not just, I know I was going to build a global business. So what I did first was, I need to hear from people from a global perspective. So I've been interviewing people from the US, I've been to interview people from the UK, I've interviewed people from the Netherlands, I've interviewed people from the Poland, I've interviewed people from India, I've interviewed people from Brazil, I've interviewed people from Switzerland. Amazing, amazing agri-tech founders. Yes, agri-tech founders on his own as a company or as a show has its own challenge. But first, because I have some challenge, I will talk about subsequent videos. I'm going to talk about challenges we've had while we're trying to start up this show. But first, Agritech that is what we're talking about today. And then I listen to all of them. I listen to how they raise their funds for their business. I listen to how they build system and structure for their business. I listen to what they think they did wrong when they were starting. I heard all of those lessons. Guys, those videos are still on my YouTube. If you're thinking of starting agritech, going to agritech company, you want to start your own agritech companies. I've interviewed a lot of agritech founders. Check their videos out. And let me give you an example of how to know. It's so amazing. I'm sharing this story on my own platform, right? And let me tell you a funny experience. How do you know the real founders who disaster stops? Look at the ones that have highest views. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. You see some have hundreds of views already. That one dish a lot of values anyway. So I listened to some of them again and again, and I start implementing. And what does this also did for me was maybe subsequent time I will do that. I mean, Architect Founders Diary as a shot helped me meet people. Two of my board members were on Agritech Digest, which I've also share some of the things I've done on Agritech Digest. I met them via the show, Agritech Founders Diary. Amazing, right? So that's what some of the things that Agritech Founders Diary has done. So the first step for me, I was scared. I wanted to do it, but I was scared. How do I start? So first thing was for me was do it after it starts. So but now I've said do it after it starts. Do I just rush in? I said no, 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 don't rush in. What do I do first? I said okay, start a show to learn from other architect founders what they've done in the past, what they lesson. So my first step was to start a show. I introduced my show called Agritech Founders Diary so I can get lessons. So I can learn from other people. I can stand on their shoulder. And that's amazing. That's really helped me leap. That's really helped me That's the first thing I did. First thing I did was start a show so I can learn. So critically, you could also say another lesson you could also learn is learn as much as you can before you jump into any industry. Learn as much as you can. See, what I'm telling you today, I'm just saying from my head, lessons I've learned. They're not written down anywhere. But I hope to document my story properly, put it in a book as I journey into building my own company, right? So the first thing was um learn as much as I can about the industry. I've been a farmer, but I've not been in the agritech space. So I wanted to go into the agritech space. What did I do first? I need to learn more about the agritech space and the agritech industry, especially from a global perspective. So I interview a lot of people who are doing in the field. Some of them got an interview, some did not get an interview because the podcast, the show was just starting and they have a lot of followers. Yeah, it was good. I hope to. And one of these thing helped me was that the channel is there forever. So anybody that wants to learn from, I just invite you to my channel. Come share your experience. Come share, let everybody learn. Why everybody's learning? I too. I'm learning and I'm implementing it in my own business. And that's what I did first. Then the next thing I did was get the right thing. If you must build a business, an agri-tech business, not just agri-tech anyway, if you must build a tech business, you need the right people, the right team members. And I think I would have made a lot of mistake. Honestly, I would have made a lot of mistakes. So part of the way I recruit people to join my team is in the past I've worked on so many projects. So I reached out to the guys who has volunteered with me at one point or the other. You must have right now every members of my team has one time or the other volunteered for me. You must have volunteered from one or two projects. So it's good you volunteered. So why what people were volunteering over the years working with me on so many projects, they didn't know I was taking note of them. So when I was going to start, first when I was going to start the show, I reached out to the best guys who has volunteered for my team, who has one or two skills, and I mean they were so good, they were excellent in their job while they were volunteering. So I like if they could volunteer for me for free and give their best, why not have them on my team and pay them? They've demonstrated excellence in the past. So I put these guys in and we set up the show. I will start the show. I think we've run the show for I started my show, my first show I went first live in January, last week of January, I think 24th of January 2023. I still remember that date. It was my first guest was Summer Samsi. So, of course, there are a lot of errors. We keep improving on the shows every day, every time we come on board. So, if you watch the first previous shows, you'll see all the errors there. I didn't care. I wanted to learn. And then I moved on from there. I think we launched the company after about January was when we went live on the show. Then January, February, March, April, May, 5 months later, 6 months later was when we launched the company. So I've learned from other people. After 5, 6 months learning from these other founders, I launched mine. So I was launching mine. I also picked the very best guys who has worked, even though they were on salary working on the show, and moved some of them to the company, right? So my current CEO, my current chief operating officer, she was on time volunteer to handle my social media on Twitter for a project I was running at the time. So I moved her to handle the social media platform. And while she was handling the social media platform, she was like, I could do this. I could do this. Just talking. And I'm like, okay, we are going to do the business and I will need that skills. And over time, that's how I moved her from just handling just the social media handle, Twitter social media handle, not just my entire social media handle, just the Twitter handle. I've moved her to sit on the company COO. So she's the current chief operating officer. And then my chief marketing officer as well has been designing my graphics for over 10, let me not say exactly, yes, over 10 years. He has been designing for me for over 10 years. So, and some are free, some are paid, but he started designing for me as free. So he too has also grown for just a graphics designer to now work as a marketer, some of the biggest brand in Nigeria. So I moved him I moved him into this company first to handle the show. From the show, I knew was not into marketing because I actually brought him to come and design for me. So while he was working, he also later made sure that he was not into marketing. I was not moving to become a marketer, and then as I moved him to become the chief marketer of the Agritech Digest. So somehow these are how I recruit my guys. And then we moved the show Agritech Finance Diary to come under the company Agritech Digest, which is the media. So right now Agritech Finance Diary is now a show being run under Agritech Digest, which is the way home, which is the primary umbrella right now. So you must one thing you must also learn is you must have the right thing. I have the right thing. And this is my recruiting strategy at the moment because they are growing. I know over time, our stretch will get more people. I think at the first time I have 7 people working with me. Yeah, and then the next thing I did was get the right board of advisors. So I got a board of advisors who advise me, people who sit on the board. I mean, those guys hold me accountable, right? They hold me accountable. I send monthly reports to them, progress the organization is making. I inform them and they send me back their own feedback and their own advice, and I implement in my own business. So that's all that thing I did. And it's really good why you to do that to have a board member, have the right team. And I think I also made a mistake at the board. I knew having a business, I knew the essence of having a board members in your organization, right? But I didn't know that I needed to the numbers to have if it is 5, if it is 10, if it is 20. So first thing I want to learn, I've said number one is do it afraid. Just start. Go start it. To get adequate knowledge about the industry, you're going to, I mean, that agritech space, you're going to get adequate knowledge. So that will help you to know the gap to cover, the specific gap to cover in that sector, the specific stuff that is lacking. When you understand the industry enough, you know what is lacking and what to face, what gap to cover, what problem to solve. If you understand the industry properly, then because it's critical, you should be solving a problem for the farmers if you want to have run an agritech company. And don't just assume the problem in your head. You need to move for these farmers. You need to work with the guys. You need to have your audience you're working with. So then the next thing is have the right team, like I've mentioned. Have the right team. Set up your right team, have a structure of recruiting your team, the right team to your organization. Invest in getting the right team. Then the next is get the right board members. I don't know if I would say the right board members anyway, but get have a governing council, board of advisors, who you accountable, who you also learn from, who you also report to, who you also send feedbacks to, who also advise you, who also they are sure that you are standing on to see further. Right? It's critical. And in case you want to also responding, the investors also get to see that, right? And take it more serious. It's critical you have those things in place. And then the next thing I also did again was I read more beyond learning from founders. One of the I did I know I started making some I wanted to make some mistakes and I was talking about board members, do I have 5, do I have 10? I read books. Entrepreneur is not easy, guys. You must read. I read books. Books upon books. I read books. Tons of books. And they helped me. I read books on marketing. I read books on I read books on marketing. I read books on tech. So, but one of the critical books, I'm going to also do a video on books I read. A special video. I will just talk about books I read and how the books helped me build my business. Right? I'm going to do a separate video, but that will be maybe towards the end of the year or early the year. I don't know, because I'm still reading quite a number of books in my archives. So I read books. But one of them that really helped me was Zero to One. Building from Zero to One really helped me and helped me face some of the issues I was facing. So if I would have had over 10 people on my board, he helped me. That book Zero to One helped me on how many members of board should I have, and yeah. So read books. I encourage you to read books, gather enough knowledge. I read books, and those books helped me. And I'm still reading books on a tech space on how to build a tech company. So I really advise you to read books, read as much as you can, invest in reading books. Um, yeah. So these are the things I did at the initial stage for just about 4 months. At the time I'm doing this video, I just about 4 months. I attracted a lot of people. People have just been the site. Um, People are already reaching out to us to want to work with us in just 3 4 months. But one of the reasons why those things are happening is because we started reading properly. Beyond reading books, another thing I did again, I bought course. I read courses. I took a lot of courses. I mean, even starting my own show, I took courses. I took courses, online courses. I took a YouTube online course. I did a course on how to start a YouTube channel. Yeah, I think that cost me about £45. Oh yeah, £45. Yeah, 45 or £35. I can't recall. I bought it and I mean it was amazing, and that also helped me. You need a lot of knowledge. So you see, I tapped into knowledge from books, from board of advisors, from courses, and I'm still buying courses. I wanted to also part of what I want to also do was start raising fund almost immediately, even though it's good. But I took some courses on fundraising. How do I fundraise? And even though I've not raised money, I've not my interest is not to rush into raising funds almost immediately. I want to build something, from my own from scratch, from my own pocket, from my own cash. Then of course that I could raise funds for what I'm doing. But you see, I took a fundraising course to learn how to raise funds for tech business and all that. And that's what helped me on how to position my business to attract investors. Right? How do I run campaigns that attract investors? How do I run campaigns? Yeah, that kind of a thing. So that's also part of what I did, and I'm still learning as much as I can. So I just wanted to share with you guys a few things I did in 2 to 4 months to attract people to my site, and I've not started. People are already reaching out for partnership. They want to work with us, but we are trying to take things slowly because I like no, let's not rush. Let's not put down the wrong people, you know. And guess what? I didn't have adequate knowledge on tech business or agritech anyway. I didn't have any knowledge, but I just build myself, learn, and So if I can do it, you can too. You can definitely, definitely you can. You can. So guys, I said, let me share with you on this journey of what we did to get to this point. I believe you've learned one or two lessons from my story today. I know wherever you're joining me from, do it to like this video, share this video, drop your comments, and then of course, as I keep building, I'll keep coming here to share my story with you guys on how I'm doing, on how the organization is doing, and what we are doing to grow it from one level to another level. So you can also implement on your end. And of course, I promise you guys always invited our guests. So we can always learn from other people via the show as usual. So if you're joining for the first time, do it to hit the subscription button, share this video as much as you can. Please share this video to more people so more people can join us and learn on how we are building, and they can also be their own agritech business. I hope you've learned something tonight. So in case, let me just do a quick recap of all I've shared so far. Three things I did at the beginning. Number one, do it afraid. I did it afraid, even though I didn't have adequate knowledge. Number two, even I was going to do it afraid, I knew I needed knowledge. So what I do first, I get a platform to learn. So over time, I've learned from about 20 people. So number three, get the right team. Number four, set your board members, have the board of advisor. Number five, the number five for me is I've talked about get adequate knowledge, right? So yeah, get adequate knowledge. Read books, get courses. Um, yes, ensure you're covering a gap. Have adequate knowledge of the industry. So because you're covering a gap, having adequate knowledge of the industry, where what's the gap you want to cover, what's the problem you want to solve. Don't forget that. So those are my quick tips for today. Till I come back, see you next time. Love you. Bye for now.